Another attack on a major supply route for the US forces in Afghanistan cuts off about 70% of supplies for NATO troops. A day later, Kyrgyzstan announced it would deny American access to an important airbase on its territory. How can the US send 30,000 more troops to landlocked Afghanistan without securing their supply routes? And what alternatives do the Obama administration have? This is Inside Story. Welcome to the show. I'm Lauren Taylor. Ruthless attacks, guerrilla warfare, suicide bombings, and now the Taliban seem to have new indirect military strategies, attacking supply routes to the US and NATO bases in Afghanistan. On Tuesday, the Taliban bombed the Khyber Pass bridge in Pakistan, a crucial supply route to neighbouring Afghanistan. A day later, it torched 10 supply trucks returning from Afghanistan to Pakistan. Around 75% of US supplies to Afghanistan currently travel through Pakistan. An increase in such attacks has raised doubts over Pakistan's ability to protect those vital supply routes. And Pakistan's military and police appear to have little or no control in the border region. Also on Wednesday, Taliban captured 29 Pakistani soldiers and police, then released them unharmed, only on condition that they resign from their jobs. Well, joining us today are our guests in Washington, D.C., Marvin Weinbaum, a former Pakistan and Afghanistan analyst with the US State Department and a scholar at the Middle East Institute. In Kabul, MULLAH ABDULSALAM ZAEEF, a former Taliban ambassador to Pakistan before the US invasion of Afghanistan. And in Islamabad, retired General Mohammad Asad Durrani, who's the former head of the Pakistani intelligence agency Inter-Services Intelligence, known as ISI. If I could start with you, first of all, Mr. Durrani, how critical would you say are those supply routes from Pakistan into Afghanistan for the operations there?
Well, they seem to be important enough, and they've been working for quite some time. But it was quite expected, and I think from the Taliban side, it was a very sensible strategy to try and disrupt the supplies. And the area is such, the topography is such, and in the meantime, since the Afghan war is so unpopular, especially in our frontier areas, it is possible for them to carry out such disruptive attacks. They've done it a couple of times. Pakistani military and the Pakistani government tries and restores them. For some time it runs, but then it gets disrupted again.
Okay, Mr. Weinbaum, I mean, the Obama administration seems to look at the Afghanistan and Pakistan problems together. What can it do differently to stop these kind of attacks on vital supply routes?
Well, it has obviously some difficulty here since we're talking about Pakistan territory, and the United States is foregoing any kind of ground operations inside of Pakistan. It really is dependent entirely on Pakistan's security forces in keeping that artery open. And as is being demonstrated here, the Pakistan government does not really control large parts of the Khyber agency. And so not much the U.S. can do except at this point to encourage Pakistan to do more and look for alternatives.
You started off there with saying there's no ground operation. Do you think that that would be a solution?
Well, not really. I don't think it would work. It obviously, when it was done last summer, when there was an attack in North Waziristan, there was a firestorm of criticism against the United States for putting boots on the ground. No, I think it wouldn't be worth the effort, really. It has to be an effort which is sustained. There's no point in going in and raiding when the same thing can occur again the next day.
Okay, MULLAH ABDULSALAM ZAEEF, you have good knowledge of what the Taliban do and don't do. This tactic, do you think they will continue with it?
Yes, I think this is a very successful tactic for the Taliban to prevent the supply of American from Afghanistan. I think they know that the concern of American and the problem of American, and they should be hearing about American. They want to find the alternative way for supply. And I think the Taliban, they are working very hard to concern the American, or to defeat them, or to prevent something and support from them, from Pakistan way. I think the Pakistanis, Taliban, they are not satisfied with the Pakistan. That the Pakistan, they are supporting American and giving possibility to the American to use the way of Pakistan against the Taliban in Afghanistan. And I think this is the way they should use and continue for the future, because they know the importance of this tactic.
General Durrani, does what Pakistan is doing about the Taliban in Pakistan have to change in order to solve the problem?
Well, there are so many things that I suppose can be done on both sides of the borders, but if the idea is that Pakistan should do something to bring such disruptions or disruptive attacks by the Taliban against the supply columns to an end, so I would say it would be another mission impossible. Pakistan, under some illusion, undertook to do a few things, sealing the border, preventing the people from, from this side going over to that side, etc., etc. All of them were impossible missions. These things cannot be done.
What, so you're saying that are you saying they've given up?
No, not given up in that sense. They can keep trying, and they will probably do that, because after all, if these are the terms of engagement, and if Pakistan military has been now coerced into cooperation and also paid to carry out certain contracts, so they will keep trying. And even if they were to try, the best of efforts, it will be successful most of the time, but it will also be unsuccessful on so many occasions. And we must not forget that, frankly, the people there are in any case against us. The Pakistani soldiers employed there, whether they are from the army or from the frontier corps, etc., they also do not have their heart into these operations, because understandably they think that they are being paid to fight a war which an outside power is waging against their brethren in Afghanistan. So that is what it is, the situation on ground.
Marvin Weinbaum, is that part of the problem here, that actually the people who in theory should be helping the Americans are actually not really with them in spirit?
Well, that's certainly the case, but the problem is much greater than simply keeping the supply lines open. Pakistan is going to have to face up to the fact that it's more than that. It's a problem of an insurgency inside Pakistan. The Tehrik-e-Taliban represent right now a threat to the Pakistan state. So to simply say that we're doing this on behest of the United States may be true, but Pakistan has on its hands now a full-blown insurgency. Not only does it not control large areas of the Khyber Agency, the area we're talking about, but all of Waziristan, Bajor, Swat, other districts inside the Northwest Frontier Province. And so unless Pakistan is willing to tackle these issues, we're really not talking about the same thing.
Mr. Durrani, I saw you shaking your head there. I mean, is there not surely a danger that there is a danger that Pakistan could collapse internally if it doesn't control some of the insurgencies that Mr. Weinbaum was mentioning there?
I agree. There are certain insurgencies that Pakistan should control. I think very rightly Swat and Bajor have been mentioned. So these are the areas where the developments are such that are not necessarily, not entirely Afghanistan related, and these are things that we have to do. But when we talk about Khyber Agency, for example, or the Waziristan 2 agencies, now here the problems are Afghanistan related. And subsequently, when Pakistan military went in, it's then Pakistan military operations oriented. Now these are those things that we cannot bring under control. And as I said, some people would not even be willing to do that. But there are developments because of this entire insurgency, that some groups have found this vacuum, this opportunity to move into certain areas. Swat and Bajor are two main examples. I could also add a couple of others, where these have established their clout. And they have to be taken care of by Pakistan, by whatever means Pakistan thinks should be suitable.
Okay.
Bajor, for example, yeah.
Right. Mullah ABDULSALAM, ZAEEF, tell me, are these groups separate, or are they actually all going to end up working together? The SWAT insurgencies, the ones on the border with Afghanistan, how different are they? Or are they now, friends and working together?
I think the Pakistan in the Musharraf time, he did some wrong policy against their nation in Pakistan, and also about Afghanistan, because the Afghanistan and Pakistan, they are both neighbor, and they are both Islamic country. And in Musharraf time, the government of Pakistan provide the land of Pakistan against Afghanistan. This is the reason the people of Swat, in especially this area you mentioned, they become angry with the Pakistan. They started the problem in Pakistan, especially when something happened in the Hafsa madrasa, and they killed a lot of innocent people. This problem increased in Pakistan. I think the issue of nation is not possible for the Pakistan or even for Afghanistan to follow through the way of which they are using by force, by killing of people and bombing and this kind of thing. I think that this is important for Pakistan and for both Afghanistan, and to make peace with their people, because the ammunition is coming to Afghanistan. They are not coming for the neighbor country, is not coming for the building of Afghanistan, for the progress of Afghanistan, just coming to kill the people and to kill the innocent people. And I think this is policy until the American, they are changing, and Afghanistan, Pakistan, they will be weak to solve this problem, both of them.
Okay, we'll take a quick break at this point, and when we come back, we'll be asking, are there alternative supply routes into Afghanistan, and what do they cost? Do stay with us.